Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today's video is the second in a new series I'm starting called Ridiculous Things Happening in Fashion Right Now. I'm workshopping the name, so if you have a better idea then let me know. But basically a fashion roundup video that I do monthly, and it's just going to be a really quick video where I round up the most interesting stories that happened that month and give my quick thoughts on it. I'm going to try to keep it to less than 10 minutes. So it really is that quick and simple. So we should start with the first one. First story is the news that Skims scored less than Shein when it came to fashion's accountability report. Now, this is the headline that a lot of publications ran with, and I don't blame them, because the fact that the Kardashian brand scored lower than the ultra fast fashion giant Shein on some of its sustainability principles is crazy. But what I want to focus about, and what I made a couple of TikToks about, is more the general findings of the report. So you can watch those TikToks if you want, but the main point I want to get across is the fact that across the fashion industry, little to no progress has been made, and no brand did well. Even the top scoring brand, which I think was Everlane, got 40 points out of a possible 150. Now they're scoring across 5 or 6 categories here, and the average score for those categories from all the brands kind of speaks for themselves. It's just insane that they're hitting 1 out of 8 possible points for traceability, or that the industry's overall progress on environmental justice is 5 out of 42. Like, that is just no progress at all. Moving on to the Shein IPO drama. Now, this is been quite high profile, so you might know a bit about this. And I've talked a bit about this in my videos, but Shein have been looking to file an IPO in New York so they can go public and gain some funds. But lawmakers in America have been resisting this because they're not sure on Shein's labor practices and their links to the Uyghur forced labor region in China. Because of this, Shein is now flirting with the idea of listing on the UK stock exchange instead. And this is really bad news. It's kind of crazy that the UK government is literally welcoming Shein with open arms rather than scrutinizing them like New York have done. But after Brexit and the cost of living crisis, our economy isn't in a great place. So this may be why we're literally turning a blind eye to these accusations. I could do a whole video on this, so let me know if you want, because there is another point to this story which is super interesting, and it's that they may have breached company law when filing for this UK IPO. The short version is that they didn't disclose a human owner on their form when they were filing, and although they said this was an oversight, I am a little bit suspicious, considering that the owner is a Chinese billionaire who is notoriously reclusive and doesn't like his private business aired. So I feel like there's a little bit of something going on here. Speaking of Shein, I have a quick update on that other video I did that a lot of you watched, the one on the potential French tax on Shein products, and it's that the bill was unanimously passed by the lower parliament house in France. Basically, that means it can move on to the upper house in parliament and be debated there before being turned into law. But there is also room for them to reject the bill in its entirety or reject it in its current state and send it back down for editing and reapproval. One of the interesting changes to the bill is that it's now proposing up to a €10 fine for products rather than the 5 that originally came with the story. We also got an update from Shein, who responded to this whole thing. They said to Reuters that their business model, being based on low production, reduces waste and basically aligns with consumer demand more, basically saying that their production model is sustainable, so they're not sure why they're being targeted. But do you remember when I said in one of my other videos that this is exactly what ultra fast fashion companies do to try to convince you they're sustainable? And it's just not true. They're still producing an insane quantity of clothing, and the quality of that clothing is literally so bad, it's made to be thrown away after the first couple of wears. It's going to fall apart on you. So their argument just doesn't hold up. Little side comment here. I got so many comments from you guys mentioning that you got a Shein ad on that video. And initially I was panicking about this. Obviously I don't want them to be promoted to my viewers, but they're paying me for that. I get ad roll money from them subscribing, and then you're watching content that literally disparages them. So I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm literally going to be paid to disillusion you guys about Shein. Next kind of thing I want to talk about is this internet drama that I just stumbled upon really recently, like the morning I'm filming this video. And it's about this influencer who tailored a vintage dress and got it completely reworked to suit her style. People are so mad about this, and I kind of wanted to give my thoughts on the whole thing. Now, this isn't a new trend. Like, people have been doing this for a while, and we always see the same comments coming up, like, why would you buy something vintage if you're just going to change it into something that's really modern for now? And I do kind of see that side of it, but in my mind, and based kind of particularly on what she's done here, I don't see an issue with what she's done. It's obviously a gorgeous Dolce dress in its original state, but clearly she's bought it from a secondhand place or a vintage place, which means it wasn't being loved before she bought it. So the fact that she's changed it into a version that she will wear herself is a pro. Like, it's going to be worn. There can't be anything wrong with that. And not only that, I know a lot of the comments were saying that she could have bought a similar design to what she ended up with on Shein or Zara or H&M or whatever, all of these fast fashion companies. But I have to disagree here. She would not have been able to find such a quality garment in today's stores. She would have put up with like 100% polyester, or, you know, if she's lucky, 100% fraudulent organic cotton dress, instead of something that is literally quality, handmade, vintage. And if she hadn't done this, if she had just bought something similar from fast fashion, then it wouldn't have been so special. She wouldn't be thinking she would keep it so long in her wardrobe. And I do think she is going to keep it for a while, considering she took it to a tailor, which, if you know, can be quite expensive. It can be cheap, but depending on adjustments you ask for, depending on the quality of the finish you ask for, it can be a really expensive process. So I do think she's putting money and effort into this, and she's intending to keep it. Moving on to the Renewacell drama. If you don't know who they are, it's a textile to textile recycling company that was initially supported by a lot of high profile brands. For example, H&M invested in this startup that was going to make recycling fashion a lot easier. It was only in 2020 that H&M were investing more into this company and increasing their stake in it because they believed in it so much. Well, the news this past month is that Renewacell is bankrupt and the company was going to be shutting its doors. Investors like H&M had jumped ship, and the company said it just couldn't carry on under the financial situation. Now there's a new twist in it. Basically, H&M have announced they're working with another similar startup. So they've literally taken their money and given it to someone else, which is so infuriating considering Renewacell was so close to market, and now obviously this has put a massive spanner in the works. And I want to do a whole video about next generation materials and startups and why they keep failing. So maybe I'll keep that to myself. But now Renewacell has just announced they're looking for new investors, and they've been given an extended deadline on their bankruptcy to do this. So potentially this doesn't mean the end of the road for Renewacell, but it does mean a struggle in the industry for next generation solutions. Kind of last story is Bernard Arnault, and I know I'm not pronouncing that right, I'm sorry, it's French, received a award ceremony in France that was attended by a lot of A-listers. Basically, he received France's highest civilian honor by President Macron this past week, I think it was. And the ceremony was attended by Beyonce and Jay-Z and Elon Musk and some other celebrities. I think he was getting honored for his work and the profits of LVMH, his luxury fashion brand, which we've talked about on this channel. But I kind of want to question this. France recently has been really well known for pushing sustainability initiatives. They're really trying to get ahead of the game. And I think it's a little bit hypocritical to be honoring a man who is at the helm of LVMH when luxury fashion, his brands included, are not making enough progress on sustainable fashion. And I just think these two things are at odds. So I'm not really sure what's happening. Okay, before I go, I wanted to quickly chat about upcoming things you can be excited about in sustainable fashion, because it's always nice to end on a positive. Next month, Fashion Revolution Week runs from the 15th to the 24th of April, and there's going to be a whole host of ways to get involved online, in real life, depending on when you are. During this week, it's actually going to be World Men Day on the 20th, and it's going to be the first time Fashion Revolution has hosted a Mend in Public Day. I know, for example, London is putting on some events. Could be a really fun way to get involved. I know I'm going to try get involved and just learn something new and have fun with sustainable fashion, because sometimes it can be a bit doom and gloom. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you like this video. Let me know if you like the format, if you have ideas about what I could call this series, because I think my title is too long. And yeah, have a lovely, lovely week, and I'll speak to you really soon. Bye.